Alright, here we go. We are ready to start. MaxPax versus Clem. Top left of Moondance will be MaxPax. Super important matchup. Clem really needs a 2-0. I mean, they can get by without a 2-0, but a 2-0 really is the way that Liquid are going to have the best possible chance, obviously. And let's see if Clem can get it done. He's in the bottom right to start us off here. What do we think, guys? I really had a feeling about Liquid going into today. I really believed in them a little bit. I think I still stand by it. I think Liquid is still... I don't know. I feel like Clem's ready. I think he's prepared. I think he's going to be able to deal with whatever MaxPax is going to throw at him. Can be a lot of different stuff, to be fair. MaxPax is obviously a very tricky player to play against. There's a lot of different ways to play, a lot of different ways to open, etc. He really is, he's not an easy opponent, even to prepare for, right? Because he really can do so much different stuff. Really makes MaxPax a tricky one to fix. Now, we do see Clem is going to open with the full wall off here, so fully walling. And as we fully wall, we are going to go factory before we expand. So a little bit more on the aggressive side from Clem, similar to what we saw from Gumiho in that previous series. This obviously will help him to take control of the match in his favor a little bit early, perhaps try and get some damage done. We'll see if that is something which he can, or which he will commit for. Let's just have our CC going down. It's going to be like overly aggressive. It's not like a complete commitment. We obviously just put the CC down after the factory. This isn't going to be a full 1-1-1 setup. We saw that with Mary versus Stray. You go full 1-1-1, and that can obviously be quite scary. That's not going to be the case here, so a bit of a different approach this time. As our Adept continues out down on its own journey to try and figure out what's going on at the start of the game for the moment. It's going to get up, we'll confirm the command center, so able to get vision of that is a nice little bit of info, if nothing else. The Reaper's going after the probe for a moment, but doesn't get it. One kill on the Reaper so far. Back down to the natural. That's why the Adept will commit, and Reaper will have to keep on running. Bug can get out of reach, and gets out of reach of the next Adept. So 2 kills on the Reaper so far. Good start for now for Clem. Blink research spotted as well. MaxPax does love a little bit of aggressive blink play, of course. That's definitely something you got to be careful of as Clem, not to let that catch you off guard or do too much. There's Jesse32 going to gift a sub to Coconut Games. How about that for a legendary sub? Thanks so much for the gifted. Coco. As we have got ourselves, like I say, a couple of probes being dropped for the moment. Being good harass from Clem, right? Just early opening, strong. The sort of thing that puts you in a great position, the sort of thing that puts you in a spot where, you know, winning out from here is much easier because the Pro's economy is going to be hurting that much more than usual. Them's going to play Cloak Banshees, by the way, with Siege Tank Marine. Very aggressive combination of units for pushing with, potentially, so that's absolutely one possibility here. And a lot that can go on, actually. Excited to see what's going to come of this in the next couple of moments. We'll see how aggressive Clem will be. Moving onto the map. Banshee shows up and MaxPax is not ready at all, so we are going to start seeing a lot of damage done initially. Stalker's on the other side. Tank will have to siege. Obviously, you know, looking to make up for some of the damage you're already taking. Just going to be seeing the couple of SCVs down, but the tank positioning has been good, and not enough Stalkers to jump on top of tanks, I think, most notably here. If there's enough Stalkers to jump on top of tanks, this might be a very different discussion, but that obviously really is not the case just yet, so for now, no discussion needed. Banshee just sitting out towards the front, quite a few Stalkers in the prism coming across here as well. Stalkers jump into the main base, getting rid of the tank. The prism's going to go down though. And the Banshee here to help defend too, with a lot of Marines. Not going to be able to do too well. The Stalkers just blink out, but yeah, definitely a concerning moment or two. As MaxPax. I mean, equal workers with a Terran player really is not ideal. I mean, at this point as a Protoss player, you want a third base down. You want to be about 10 workers ahead. That's just how the matchup works. So being equal in workers just shows the damage that Clem has done. MaxPax struggling to stay in this, and obviously without the prism, can't really do much more damage himself. Stalkers jump in, we'll get the SCV, we'll get the depot. It's going to be seeing our Observer moving out from this base, and well, I mean, MaxPax has to try and do something. Killing a Cyclone, though, is the kind of thing where it's like, well, how useful was that Cyclone really going to be moving on from here? Like, how happy are we really to kill off a Cyclone of all things right now? Yeah, a little bit, sure, but yeah. Guess he's going down. Stalk's coming through, trying to get some work done. That's going to be seen our Bioforce coming in, and again, it's been a constant pushback for MaxPax. He's never really been able to get settled at any point of these games, really. It's always been Clem pushing him back, stopping him from getting set up at all. We do have a couple of probes beginning to dip. Banshee coming back in, just a few more probes, and Clem maintaining control of this series wonderfully so far. Doing a fantastic job of this right now. Scan comes out, bit of buy to the left side. Banshee gapping a couple of workers. As our medevac will come all the way up to the north. We'll see, with this sort of pressure, I mean, Clem, it's not just pressure, he's got 3 tanks sieging up. MaxPax cannot really go into this. He's going to start losing the cyber core though, so we'll have to rebuild that at some stage. A gateway here obviously exposed as well. This Reaper wall off from earlier being punished, one of the easier things for a Terran player to grab at this point, as Clem sits up about 40 supplies, so really looking fantastic. Yeah, knocks down the gate. We are going to see a few more probes going down. 4 workers being killed, the Banshee just about escaping away to the left-hand side. These other tanks will unsiege and everything will pull back to the center. The Banshee's still just chilling there, and that Temple Archives building also on the side of Clem. Well, and Clem just doing everything right, taking base after base, Vikings, tanks, etc., all continuing to produce. Fire continues to the right, just a few of those zealots being a bit of trouble. We're just going to see a few zealots charging on the left side, going to grab a Marine. Just going to do decently with that. You've seen Clem getting find a fight in the middle of the map. His tank's very slow to siege. Obviously, it's kind of more MaxPax that picks this fight, but I mean, Clem's happy to take any fight. Even with the tanks on siege, I think he could smash through this army. And continue to look good right now. If your Zealot will counterattack, I mean, that's the exact sort of thing you need to be doing here if you're MaxPax. You need to find some kind of a way to get up and running, right? So, gotta get some counterattacks, gotta make something work. Unfortunately, I don't think any of this is necessarily going to work out and suddenly kind of produce results or anything, but that's just the state of the game that we're in, right? So, it does seem as though MaxPax is going to be in too much trouble, and this is going to be Clem getting the very important first game victory. So obviously, after this first game, it's going to be a question mark of, well, can Clem win on MaxPax's map pick? That's the difficulty. Getting a victory off of your opponent's map pick as well is absolutely not easily done, so Gates going down, Vikings chasing Colossi. There's not even really enough anti-air to stop those at the moment, so that's obviously not looking great. As that Bioforce is going to be reinforced by even more tanks. Clem, slow, steady, patient, not going to get too caught up, just wanting to end this game too soon and run into a silly spot. He'll just do everything he needs to pretty much guarantee that he has a good way of closing this out. MaxPax's army melts. It really is just a case of, at this point as well, MaxPax also deciding that this game is over, and for him to give it up, GG's, that will do it. And Clem takes the first game for Liquid in the series. Big start for Clem. He needs a 2-0, I think. I was saying a 1-1 would be okay, and it might be, but it puts a lot of... Game number 2. Map pick is Stargazers. MaxPax loves this map. He almost always picks it first. It's not always the first pick for Protoss players in this series, but it's definitely one that MaxPax enjoys a lot. Makes a lot of sense against Clem too. It's definitely a more difficult one for the Terran to find some early pressure on, for example, so we'll have to look for here. And Zergiel, thank you so much for the first sub-bomb of the year. I mean, I guess it's not a sub-bomb if you just do one, so... Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to Demi SE2, Wit2528, Wolfner, Hiptoad, and Ziso Slow. Thank you so much for the generosity. Really appreciate it. Happy New Year, mate. Thank you so much. Hope 2023 is full of great stuff for you. Whatever you want it to be. As long as it's StarCraft related. Few moments of establishment, guys. Getting set here. For just a second. For our build order choices, Clem is already putting down a second Rax though, so he's going to be quite aggressive with the second Rax already coming into play. He is going to go factory behind this, so a bit of a 2-on-1 opening even is actually very interesting, right? Very interesting indeed. Alright, well. Continue to get set up and we'll see just how exactly someone's trying to utilize this setup that we've got going on. It's going to be seeing first Marines coming now. Tech left straight away on that barracks. That should just be stim pack and then into a starport and reactor, right? Get some medevacs. Maybe we can build something off the factory before we go starport, but that's more or less what it's lining up for here. Our blink upgrade continuing on. Just getting started. The first tech choice of MaxPax being shown to us right now. Just getting that up and running. Starport goes down. The Marines come through and the Adepts will shade by those Marines. Extra gateway going down as well. Just getting a wall off. Set up at the front to begin with here. Robo facility joining us, and again, at least not being overly greedy. MaxPax, right? The 3 gates is a bit more of an aggressive setup as well, so definitely one thing for us to be thinking of is Adept comes by, just checks up the front, obviously trying to pick up information without giving itself up or anything. These few Marines jump back into the bunker now, going the other way. So back and forth so far, as we have ourselves more Marines producing off of the barracks. That stim just coming through, and yeah, some nice progress. You have 4 stalkers being made, so the attack will be readying from MaxPax very shortly here as well. Expect that to come through very soon. As do have our Adept will come by and begin to put some pressure in. A little bit of damage there to begin with. Stalkers immediately block the medevac, so Clem will not do much on the start. Obviously now MaxPax can maybe counter as well with this amount of Stalkers. That's what I was kind of alluding to before. This attack is going to be coming. And Clem has Bio and Stim. I mean, it's going to be the positioning of these Stalkers that's harder to keep up with, right? Your Bio Army typically here will want to try and stick, you know, all together or as together as possible. And so it's difficult to be everywhere you need to be. He is in position straight away. First Stim is used. MaxPax blinks back, but hasn't been able to blink out yet. He should have a blink out before he gets into trouble, though, I guess. And perhaps this is not going to be as concerned as for a moment I thought it might be. It's going to be seeing the Prism loading a few Stalkers back up, and they're going to keep up the pressure here. That's going to be part of this plan. As yo, Drax BR, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Thanks for supporting the channel today as our Stalkers back around the top left. At the same time, they're going to go at the front. The bunker there is likely to be exposed. As Clem has got a tank in a few units, though. So again, Clem's defense so far has been pristine. And this is going to keep him in a pretty good spot as MaxPax is just setting up the third base, but it isn't ready yet even. So definitely not ideal for the moment. Couple more gates will come down. We will drop a little recall as well to evacuate the Prism out from behind the main of the Terran player. Just going to bring that back as a few Stalkers will unload off the Prism as well. RoboBay coming through. Extra gates coming up. Our probes coming in. And +1 attack upgrade building also on the side of MaxPax. As our Stalkers do come forward, and Bunker will just salvage up straight away. And Clem is building that third base, but definitely has an opportunity here, I feel like, to be a little bit more aggressive if he does so wish. Zealots coming in. Obviously, harassment continuing from MaxPax. Clem's moving through the top side. MaxPax moves through the middle. They're going to avoid each other on this move across the map. Could obviously be kind of scary. Potentially instigate something of a base trade here. So let's see what happens. Is Clem going to run into a lot of these Zealots? Now MaxPax is, though, potentially going to turn this into a surround. Target fire from the siege tanks gets rid of the Immortal straight away. I guess it looked like MaxPax was going to surround, but it was just Stalkers that were over here. I feel like if this was anything but just the Stalkers, then he might have genuinely been in a bundle of trouble, perhaps, as Clem. If that was some Zealots or so, he's still losing a lot of SCVs, though. These Zealots keep coming, and Clem doesn't really have a defense for that right now. He continues to have issues here. Looks though MaxPax might be getting the better of Clem in this game number 2. The consistent harassment has really just been what's kind of thrown Clem off and taken Clem away from being, you know, set up at all in this game. Just Zealots and Stalkers and the Prisms here with Zealots again. And Clem just not dealing with this properly at all. And this probably means that Slicestorm Gaming are going to have a 3-1 lead. A chance to eliminate Team Liquid from this season of the World Team League by Special taking a single map off of a laser. That's what it would come down to. That's what we would be setting up for. Big possibilities very shortly. We have ourselves this army of MaxPax, middle of the map. A few Stalkers just intercepting Clem's forces. Clem does have a bit of army supply to work with here, but I mean, it's a bit of army supply that's kind of all it really is, right? I'm not personally completely convinced right now that this is going to make the biggest of differences. I just don't see this push necessarily being enough to turn around this entire setup that MaxPax has established. Let's see, though. I mean, dangerous positions can do dangerous things, right? So there is some potential. It's not completely guaranteed to be over just yet. Clem's losing SCVs yet again back at home. It's down to this attack from him. This is it. Do or die. Now or never, pretty much. Just clean up the Zealots back at home, but, well, we'll see again. I mean, that's units that are not over here helping him fight. As Clem, slight army supply lead. The setup in position, obviously, MaxPax can choose how he fights into this a little bit, so that should be something of a factor. If he can take a proper and apt fight, would be fairly notable. It's not going to be enough for Clem as MaxPax cleans up a lot. He pushes this back. We do see the couple Colossi coming through and escaping away. Clem actually does have more army supply left. Is this still possible? He's lost his tanks, though. I mean, extra Zealots warping in, going to be scary right now. MaxPax loses some infrastructure. He's still got to get rid of the 2 Colossi, which the 1 siege tank can help with a lot. MaxPax hold positions the Zealots that were in range, and free damage being done for Clem. High Templar being made. A bunch of Archons here would be very tanky and something that Clem might struggle with more. He's got no energy left on these medevacs. He's got really no healing at all. Every so often he'll get a little blip of healing, but that's about it. Clem, for the moment... the new Archon's honestly such an issue. The siege tank, can we target down the Colossi with the siege tank? That would be huge. Clem splits backwards. He's going to be able to get through the Archons. He's got one of the Colossus as well. He's still up 20 army supply. He's not going to go chasing it down board because he just needs some healing or something or anything. 24 SCVs only against 63 probes. He's got a Viking to maybe chip at that Colossus as well, just a little bit at a time. He's killing off some of the probes of the natural. Of course, MaxPax can afford to lose pretty much all of these workers if he needs to. The Widow Mines would be big if they could actually get burrowed and fire here. The Vikings still shooting at the Colossus. I don't even want to know where the nearest battery is. There's one down to the south, but do we overcharge it? Widow Mines do a pretty decent job of this. The 1 Viking still trying to make something happen. The army supplies, though, are getting closer. MaxPax is getting to reinforce this. It is becoming more of an issue. We do have the couple of Marauders from the side. Probably not going to be enough. Clem's going to evacuate with the medevacs, but he only has 24 SCVs, and that probably means he doesn't have enough. MaxPax is going to have the victory, but what a game. What a game of StarCraft 2. That was